He doesn't make it home. It's consciousness.
Something to them?
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's Jason.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Dark Matter is one of those rare science fiction projects that has managed to capture the imagination of audiences long before its release, thanks to its fascinating concept and deeply emotional core. It isn't just a movie about the mysteries of the universe, it's a story about choices, identity, and how every decision we make can create a ripple across countless versions of reality. The film takes the classic what-if question and turns it into a breathtaking exploration of science, fate, and the human soul, blending high-concept physics with heartfelt storytelling in a way that feels both intimate and epic. At its heart, Dark Matter revolves around the idea of parallel universes, multiple versions of the same person living different lives shaped by their choices. Instead of diving into the purely scientific side, the movie focuses on the emotional weight of this concept. What would happen if you met another version of yourself, someone who made different decisions, lived a different life, and perhaps achieved everything you once dreamed of? That haunting question drives the film's story, creating a psychological and emotional tension that keeps you glued from start to finish. The movie opens in a grounded, realistic setting, showing an ordinary man living a seemingly normal life, family, career, and quiet dreams that never quite took off. He's content but burdened by the lingering thought of what could have been if he had chosen differently years ago. This relatable feeling becomes the emotional trigger that propels the entire narrative forward. One night, a strange encounter and an unexpected event catapult him into a world that defies logic, a place where he discovers that every possibility he ever imagined might actually exist. What follows is an intense journey through shifting realities, each one representing a different outcome of his life. The film plays with perception and identity in mind-bending ways as the protagonist begins to lose track of which version of himself is real. Every new world he steps into offers something he desires: sex, love, freedom, but also takes something important away. The deeper he travels through these parallel paths, the more he questions not just where he belongs, but who he truly is. The narrative's power lies in how it combines science fiction with emotion. Rather than relying on flashy effects or complicated jargon, the movie keeps the focus on human experience. The science serves as a backdrop to the story's heart, love, regret, and the search for meaning. The concept of dark matter, which makes up most of the universe yet remains invisible, becomes a perfect metaphor for the unseen forces that shape our lives, our memories, our fears, and our hidden desires. Visually, the movie is stunning. The cinematography uses light and shadow to represent the duality of existence. Every shot feels deliberate, reflecting the idea of multiple layers of reality coexisting at once. The transitions between worlds are seamless yet disorienting, using color, tone, and subtle details to show how one universe differs from another. It's a visual language that captures the confusion and wonder of stepping between dimensions, making the audience feel what the protagonist feels: awe, fear, and the weight of infinite possibility. The tone of Dark Matter balances perfectly between mystery, suspense, and emotional drama. As the story unfolds, it gradually shifts from curiosity to intensity. The protagonist's journey becomes darker and more desperate as he realizes the consequences of tampering with reality. Each new version of the world reveals how fragile existence truly is and how easily happiness can turn into chaos. The pacing keeps viewers on edge, constantly questioning what's real and what's imagined. The performances are deeply immersive, especially from the lead actor, who carries the emotional complexity of playing multiple versions of the same person. Each version has subtle differences, one confident and successful, another broken and vulnerable, another cold and detached. Watching him interact with his alternate selves is both fascinating and chilling as the boundaries between them blur. His performance captures the central theme of the movie, that no matter how many different versions of ourselves exist, there's always a part of us searching for connection, purpose, and love. The film's sound design adds another layer of immersion. Every scene carries an underlying hum, a low vibration that feels almost like the presence of dark matter itself. The music oscillates between haunting minimalism and soaring orchestral pieces, perfectly matching the emotional rhythm of the story. In moments of discovery, the score swells with wonder. In moments of confusion, it descends into uneasy silence. It's the kind of soundscape that doesn't just accompany the visuals. It becomes a living part of them. What makes dark matter so engaging is that it isn't just science fiction, it's existential fiction. It asks the audience to look inward, to think about their own lives and choices. Have you ever wondered how different things would be if you'd taken another path? The movie doesn't just explore that thought. It forces you to live it through the eyes of its protagonist. By the time he starts confronting alternate versions of his loved ones, people who both are and aren't the ones he knows, the emotional impact hits harder than any special effect ever could. As the story deepens, the tension between science and emotion becomes the film's driving conflict. The protagonist must choose between continuing to explore these infinite worlds or finding his way back home, the one universe where he truly belongs. But returning isn't simple. Every version of him believes he's the real one, leading to a terrifying realization that identity itself might be fluid. The final act becomes a race not just against time, but against himself. As he fights to reclaim the life he once took for granted, the philosophical undertones of dark matter are what elevate it beyond a typical thriller. It delves into questions of destiny, free will, and what it means to be human in a multiverse of endless possibilities. The story subtly suggests that while science can expand our understanding of the universe, it can never explain the mysteries of the human heart. Every version of the protagonist might exist somewhere in the cosmos, but only one of them has truly lived, and that realization becomes the emotional resolution of the film. The film's production design plays a huge role in grounding its fantastical concept. The use of practical effects, minimalist sets, and contrasting environments gives each universe its own texture. Some realities feel cold and sterile, representing perfection without emotion, while others are chaotic and alive, filled with imperfection but also with love and connection. The attention to visual detail allows the audience to instinctively feel the differences between these worlds even before the story explains them. As the protagonist journeys deeper, the boundaries of science and imagination begin to blur completely. The rules of the multiverse start breaking down, and so does his sense of self. The climax delivers both a psychological and emotional punch, forcing him to face the truth that all his searching has led back to one simple truth: happiness isn't found in perfection, but in acceptance. It's a powerful conclusion that leaves the audience reflecting long after the credits roll. The beauty of dark matter lies in its universality. While it uses high-concept science fiction as its framework, its message is profoundly human. It speaks to anyone who's ever wondered, what if? Anyone who's looked back on their life with regret or curiosity. The movie turns those thoughts into a thrilling, emotional journey that feels both vast and personal. The combination of smart writing, strong performances, and elegant direction makes it one of those films that stays with you, not because of its spectacle, but because of its soul. What also stands out is how the film manages to balance complexity and clarity. Even with its layered narrative and scientific ideas, it never loses its emotional thread. The audience can feel lost in the science, but still deeply connected to the heart of the story. It's the kind of film that can be enjoyed as an intense thriller or analyzed as a philosophical meditation, depending on how deeply you want to look. By the time the film reaches its final scene, the emotional resonance is undeniable. The protagonist's journey comes full circle, reminding viewers that the search for meaning doesn't lie in endless possibilities, but in cherishing the one reality we have. The ending is beautifully ambiguous, leaving room for interpretation while providing emotional closure. It's the perfect finish to a story about infinite worlds and finite choices. Dark Matter stands as a shining example of how science fiction can be more than just futuristic visuals or complex theories. It can be deeply emotional, poetic, and human. It asks the questions we all carry silently within us and answers them not with certainty, but with understanding. It's a cinematic experience that speaks to the mind and the heart simultaneously, reminding us that even in a universe filled with infinite possibilities, the most important one is the life we're living right now. In the end, Dark Matter is not just a movie about parallel worlds, it's about the invisible connections between all of us, the unseen gravity of our choices, and the eternal truth that every version of us, no matter where or when, is searching for the same thing: love, purpose, and belonging. It's a story that captures the vastness of the cosmos and the intimacy of the human heart, leaving viewers with one powerful realization: that even in the darkest corners of the universe, meaning still shines through. Meaning still shines through.